In this video, we reveal the shocking reality behind the life of a bright young woman whose smiles hid a world of pain. Some of the most important problems in partnerships are physical and emotional abuse. Still, many people say that the relationship between a victim and their abuser can become so strong that they can't picture their lives without each other. Many people think that attackers only go after weak and uncertain people who are easy to control and break. That's not even close to the truth. These tormentors look for people who are active and successful. It makes them feel better when they hurt others and control others. The story of Angel Lynn, a young British woman. Before we continue, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more real-life crime documentaries, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And tell me in the comments, which country are you watching from? I always find it incredible to see how far these stories travel and how many people around the world care about seeking justice and uncovering the truth behind real-life cases. Your support truly means more than you know. It's what allows these stories to reach new audiences, to spread awareness, and to remind us all why it's so important to keep searching for answers, even when justice takes years to arrive. So thank you for being here, for caring, and for continuing to stand for truth. Now, let's get back to the story. She was in a bad relationship for a long time with a guy who was involved with crime and had a lot of court problems. Every time she tried to get away, things got worse. As she tried one last time to get away, it turned into a fight. She was kidnapped, and someone tried to kill her. Angel miraculously lived, but her life now is very different from what most people would call normal. In the English Midlands, Angel Lynn was born on April 18, 2001, in a suburb of the city of Birmingham. Her family had 6 children, and she was the 4th and youngest girl. Patrick Lynn, who her friends called Patty, and Nikki Lynn were just normal people. When Nikki wasn't taking care of the house and raising their kids, Patty ran a small retail business. The Lynn family wasn't rich, but their small family business gave them enough money to meet their basic wants. They had a big, nice house and worked hard to make sure their kids got a good education and learned how to be good people. Angel was close with all of her family and trusted them, but her mother, Nikki, was her closest family member. Her mother knew all of her secrets and knew about her hopes, fears, and plans for the future. Angel was always on the go and full of energy from a very young age. She was smart, played sports often, and had lots of friends. People said she was driven, bold, and honest, and that she always did what was right. Her dream was to study law in college and work in the legal field. She was also known for how beautiful she was and how slim she was. People loved her because of her beautiful blonde hair and deep blue eyes. She could light up any meeting. A lot of people liked her, but she didn't go on dates very often because she didn't have time. Angel was motivated to stand on her own 2 feet because she valued her freedom. She worked part-time as a waitress at a nearby fast food place while she was still in high school. She saved a lot of money for college and got her own clothes, makeup, and other things for herself. Angel got into her dream college right away after high school. She signed up for a class that would help her become a crime scene investigator because that was her goal. She worked, played sports, and studied at the same time, and she seemed to have endless energy to do everything. She was having a great time until she met a young guy named Che Bissell. He stole everything from her. Born on October 20th, 2000, Che Bauskill was Charlotte Bauskill's younger son. Ree Norris, his bigger half-brother, was his playmate when they were kids. She raised the boys by herself. Both of their dads weren't in the picture or helping to raise them. Charlotte had to work several jobs from early morning until late at night to support her boys, but money was always tight. Additionally, she didn't spend much time with them because she wasn't at home very often. The boys were pretty much left to their own devices, and their living situations were not good. At a young age, Che began acting out and being angry in ways that made people around him nervous. He got angry quickly, fought all the time, and was always getting into trouble. He began getting into trouble with the law as a teenager because of this. Several times he was caught. His mother always stepped in to protect him, though, because she thought her younger son was pretty much perfect, even though he was bad. The bigger brother wasn't completely perfect either. Law enforcement often found him guilty. But Che did better than Ree and turned into a full-fledged thief while he was still in school. That being said, Charlotte didn't think his behavior was a problem. She had no bad feelings about him. Che got interested in crime when he was only 15 years old. He first stole cars and took the parts out of them. Soon, he joined one of the local gangs and quickly made friends and found his place. It is important to note that he was acting like his brother, though Ree was less angry and better able to manage it. Even though Che loved riding bikes and cars, he didn't just drive them. He went through the streets like he was flying. He was able to get his license and drove cars for his gang friends for a while. He had his own car by the time he was 18, though. He bought it with money he got from doing illegal things. In a state where he was drunk and high on drugs, he often got behind the wheel. He once caused a major accident where he went to the hospital after hitting a utility pole. It didn't stop him that he lost his license. Driving stolen cars was his habit, and he even live-streamed his dangerous rides through town. Che went from petty theft and carjacking to more major crimes like robbery and selling drugs that are illegal. As he became more involved in organized crime, he and his friends began stealing expensive cars on the orders of rich people. There was something great about Che saying that he was a bad guy. Although he was taken to the police station more than once, he got away with only minor or no punishments at all. Che had a beautiful face and a captivating personality, even though he was dangerous and hurting himself. Even when he was a teenager, he was good at making girls like him. And when his illegal businesses started making him real money, he would spend it all on anyone who caught his eye. Che has never had a real relationship that stayed because he was angry and had a bad temper. He was a bully and a manipulator who didn't mind using his hands. He knew how to get a girl to trust him, but his partners would usually run away as soon as they saw what kind of person he was. A few people did manage to escape, though. Angel met Steven early in 2019 while they were both hanging out with friends they both had in common. Because they were the same age and went to the same college, they hit it off right away that they had a lot in common. They hit it off right away, and it didn't take long for their friendship to grow into something more. Soon enough, they were dating. They showed each other to their families within a few weeks, which showed how serious they were about being together. The choice their daughter made Patty and Nikki happy. He came from a nice home and was a good person. Angel was also welcomed with open arms by Steven's folks. They spent a lot of time at each other's houses, and their family and friends would joke that they were going to get married soon. However, after only 6 months of being deeply in love with each other, the pair broke up for unknown reasons. For Angel, the split was a terrible blow because Steven started it. Steven soon began dating someone else, and Angel stopped hanging out with their common friends so she wouldn't have to see her ex-boyfriend and his new partner. Angel had no boyfriend or friends with her, so she was all by herself. She became even more sad, even though her family was there for her. Her putting all of her effort into her work and school didn't help much either. Fate put her in touch with someone who would play a critical role in her life at this weak point. Angel and Che met by chance, and the young criminal was quickly drawn to the beauty of the young woman. The one who talked to her, asked what was making her so sad, and offered to go for a walk and get coffee. He was clear that Angel needed to talk to someone, and Che was a surprisingly good listener. They gave each other their phone numbers and started talking and meeting up right away. Che went out of his way to make her laugh and like him. He was helpful and nice, and Angel fell in love with him before she even knew it. She really thought she had met a guy who was worth her time and effort at the time. Che bought Angel lots of expensive gifts and took her to cool clubs, restaurants, and performances to try to impress her. She tried to learn more about what he did for a living, but he was good at hiding the things he did that were illegal. He went to Angel's parents' house for dinner one night, but what was supposed to be a quiet family meal turned into a fight. The parents of Angel didn't like how cocky and haughty Che was acting. Nicole told her daughter about her worries about this guy and asked Angel to end their relationship. Wanting to keep her parents from being upset, Angel told Che that she were just friends and agreed to spend less time with him. After that, the couple kept going out on dates behind each other's backs and never even thought about stopping things. For romantic nights together, Che would book them nice hotel rooms. Angel still thought the guy she was dating was good, and she loved him. Che always had a way to talk to his girlfriend. Each day, they would text and call each other dozens of times. His questions about her whereabouts, activities, and companions were always present. Angel would trust him enough to tell her everything because she thought it was his way of showing she cared. On the other hand, this was the first time he really controlled and manipulated her. Che knew where she went, who she hung out with, and even her work and school routine in just a couple of months. He fast became her trusting partner and started to control her by isolating people he didn't like from her. He also made Angel lie to her parents, which further distanced her from her family. From there, the control got even tighter. By August 2019, Che had too much control over his target. He told her what to wear, who she could talk to, and she wasn't even allowed to wear makeup. He deleted and blocked all the people on her phone that he didn't like. Che talked to her and kept an eye on her all the time. If she went somewhere she wasn't supposed to, or stayed out later than normal by more than 30 minutes, he would come get her. As things got worse, Angel couldn't even say hello to a male friend on the street without a full-on fight breaking out. The changes went beyond her folks. Angel used to be happy and full of life, but now she is pale and quiet. She stopped wearing makeup, slacks, and was always tense. She kept her phone close to her body and ran off to be alone every time it rang, becoming mysterious. Her mom and sisters thought it was very strange that she stopped talking to them freely. When people asked her how she was, she always said she was fine and there was no need to worry. It seemed like her words were less believable each time. Angel's distance from her family grew. Che wanted Angel to be his only friend. This lively and pretty young woman felt like no one else cared about her but him after he treated her badly. Everything in her life started to be controlled by him. With the promise that he'd take care of everything, he even tried to get her to quit school and work. Angel tried to give up on her dreams, but she couldn't. Che's hold got stronger. He got into her social media accounts, put a tracking app on her phone, and listened in on all of her conversations and movements. Anytime she went somewhere, he could show up. She was on edge all the time, acting nervous, and she was always looking over her shoulder. Angel got his name tattooed on her arm because he told her to. He talked to her and acted like she was his property. She had to answer her phone dozens of times a day, even in the middle of the night, so Che could see where she was and who she was with. Angel was about to lose it, and she tried to end the connection more than once. Che would not let her go, though. The relationship that began as love had turned into pure trickery. Angel felt like Che was following her around, directing her every move, putting pressure on her, and isolating her from everything that was important to her, all while saying they love and care for them. Che and a few of his friends were caught trying to steal a car in January 2020. 4 months in jail were given to him. This was Angel's chance to finally take a deep breath. She thought the bad relationship was over because it wasn't going anywhere. It was a terrible mistake, though. Che could make one phone call a day, and he used it every night to call the Lin family's house line to see where Angel was. Besides that, his friends who were still outside were keeping an eye on her for him and telling him about it. Angel knew she was being watched all the time, but she couldn't do anything about it except live in fear. Che was let out of jail near the end of May. Upon arrival, he went right to Angel's house and made a serious disturbance. His response to Angel's attempt to break up with him again was to demand that she repay the several hundred British pounds he said he had spent on her before he went to jail. Angel gave him all the money she had saved right away, but the stalking didn't stop. It seems like Che got even more angry. After a week of being free, he struck Angel for the first time. When Che went after her again a week later, someone saw it and called the police because they were afraid for Angel's life, but Angel refused to make charges. Che was let go without any problems. In the year 2020, on July 9th, Che's neighbor called the cops to report hearing a woman screaming for help. Angel was this time thrown to the ground and hit her head on the floor by Che. Angel didn't make a complaint, even though she was hurt and needed medical help. Over the next few months, Angel was constantly being abused mentally and physically. She wasn't brave enough to tell anyone what was going on. She didn't say anything because she was afraid Che would hurt her or someone in her family. Deep down, she knew this couldn't last forever, but she tried to stay strong. At the end of September of that year, Angel made the choice to end the relationship for good. When she replied, Che attacked her so hard that she got cuts and big bruises on her face. He seemed to calm down after that. He even said sorry and promised to be more polite from now on. Because Angel knew he wouldn't change, she pushed for a breakup. She was sure that the worst and most dangerous part wasn't over yet, but she was willing to take that chance. Che told her they should stay friends after trying a few more times to get her back. She agreed because she hoped that if he thought they were still friendly, he would lose interest and leave her alone. While Angel was at work on September 17, 2020, he promised to come get Che and his friend Rocco Sansom in their van. She drove them around a lot, especially when they were too drunk or high on drugs that were against the law to drive themselves. Things were the same that day. Angel got to the agreed-upon parking lot just in time to see Che and Rocco standing nearby with the van. Later, when everyone was in the van, they turned onto the road. Angel and Che had a fight at some point. Her car stopped on the side of the road, and she jumped out of the driver's seat and ran as fast as she could. There were cameras on the street that caught that moment. You can clearly see Che chasing her in the video. He looks very angry. Later, he gets in the driver's seat of the van himself after grabbing her and forcing her back in. The car pulled back out onto the road and began speeding, breaking all the rules of the road. Basically, someone was taken hostage. Between the two guys, Angel was stuck inside the van. There's no way to know what she was going through when she was that scared. Over the next 15 minutes, the cops got dozens of calls about a strange van speeding out of town on the highway with a driver behaving strangely. But the police couldn't get there in time because something terrible happened. Angel jumped out of the van quickly as the passenger door swung open, and he almost hit two cars that were already there. Drivers slammed on their brakes quickly, which was a good thing. They rushed to help her, and someone even called the cops. Following the scene for about 100 yards, the van slowed down and turned around to go back to it. Anyone watching might have thought the driver dropped something small and then chose to go get it after giving it some thought. When Che got close, he pretended to be calm and told the people gathering that the hurt girl was his girlfriend and that they had just gotten into a fight. He said that she lost it when he told her he wanted to break up, and she tried to kill herself by jumping out of the moving van. But it didn't sound like his story was very true. He stayed there and told the same story over and over while he waited for the medics and the cops to arrive. He seemed sure that Angel would not live. That's why he was trying to put the blame on her. While he was talking, his friend Rocco, who was also in the van, repeated everything he said. Angel was still alive, even though she was badly hurt. An ambulance took her to the closest hospital, but it didn't look like they would be able to save her. She was hurt all over, with broken ribs, limbs, and a compression fracture in her spine. The most serious damage, though, was the traumatic brain injury that made her brain bleed a lot. Doctors tried very hard for days to save her life. A very complicated surgery was done on her, including taking out a part of her skull to ease pressure on her brain. Several times her heart stopped. She was officially dead, but the doctors were able to bring her back to life each time. Finally, she was put into a medically induced sleep and hooked up to a machine that would keep her alive. Angel had almost no chance of ever waking up. Doctors were shocked that she hadn't died at the scene of the crime, but they didn't think she would make it. Their warning to Lynn's family was that she would be permanently vegetative and helpless even if she miraculously lived and could breathe on her own. They even suggested that her parents take her off the expensive tools that keep her alive, but her parents wouldn't even think about it. Police stopped Che and his friend at the scene and took them to the station to be questioned. They both said they weren't guilty and that Angel was acting crazy, saying that the event happened because she was trying to kill herself. But a security camera video showed a very different story. Che was accused of kidnapping, putting someone in jail without a warrant, and seriously hurting them. As an accomplice, his friend was caught, and the two of them were held in jail until their court dates. The trial finally began in January 2022, and charges of attack and harassment were added. The two defendants didn't admit guilt, and the authorities couldn't show strong proof that Angel was intentionally thrown from the moving van. The judges couldn't agree on what to do because of this. So in the end, the criminals got pretty light terms. Che got 7 years in prison, but Rocco only got 2 years for his part in the crime. In March, though, even this already light term was called into question. According to Che's lawyer, the punishment was too harsh because Che had never been convicted of an aggressive crime before. He pushed for a shorter term. The prosecutor's request to increase the sentence from 7 to 12 years was approved, which was a good thing. Even so, Che was still given the chance to get out of jail after 6 years. The doctor said Angel wouldn't make it, but she kept fighting for her life. She had major brain damage, but she finally learned to breathe on her own. And after a few months, the doctors took her out of the sleep they had put her in. At first, she didn't know anyone, couldn't move on her own, and needed a tube to feed herself. Her actions did not show that she knew what was going on. They took her home in the spring of 2022 so they could take care of her themselves. A year later, in May 2023, Angel again shocked everyone by becoming aware of her surroundings. A month later, she looked at her mom, Nikki, and said, "Mom." Angel Lynn is now going through a long process of recovery and has even started to take her first steps. The doctors don't think she has a good chance of going back to her old life, but her parents won't agree with that because their daughter has already shown she can fight. Thank you for watching and sticking with me through this case. Every story we uncover is a reminder of how unpredictable the world can be and how important it is to stay aware and informed. If you found this video engaging or eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the darkest corners of real-life events. I want to hear from you, so drop a comment below and share your thoughts, your theories, or the next case you'd like me to cover. Your input shapes this channel and drives which stories we explore next. And if you think someone else should see this video, share it with them. Awareness spreads power, and your engagement makes a real difference in keeping these cases alive and understood. Always remember to stay alert, trust your instincts, and protect yourself and those around you. Knowledge and awareness are some of the strongest tools we have in today's world. Thank you again for being here, for supporting the channel, and for diving into these stories with me. Stay safe, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video, where we uncover another case, piece by piece.